Let's review here a little bit. Look, Baltimore remains unbeaten. Arizona still winless, but with hope, especially, Terry, the way Kyler Murray continues to play.
I got to tell you, he's amazing. I've done everything I can to convince myself that this doesn't work, but after 2 games, look, I'm on the bandwagon. You got to. Why are you crazy if you don't?
Needs help. He's great.
Well, he needs a lot of things, but one of the things you're finding out, and Kyler will be the first to tell you this, for a quarterback to throw touchdowns, it is very hard to do in the NFL starting out as a rookie. In time, he will. But, boy, you're talking about fun to watch. Tons of fun.
All right, let's talk about a team that everyone was taking a look at and wondering, oh, boy, this is going to be a tough loss for the Bears. And they come back down and win it in thrilling fashion at the end.
Yeah, you know, it looked like it was a defensive-dominated game on both sides of the ball. It looked as though the Bears were going to cruise to a victory. Flacco gets hot late, scores a touchdown. There's a penalty on the PAT, which leads to a 2-point conversion. They go up 14-13. There's 31 seconds on the clock, 1 timeout. And what's in the back of every Chicago Bear fan's mind?
Double doink.
Double doink.
Yeah.
Eddie Pinheiro hits a 53-yarder with 1 second left, 1 of 3 on the day. In many ways, I think this exercises a lot of demons for the Chicago Bears last week and last year in the playoffs.
All right, the big game, obviously, the Rams and the Saints. Besides the Drew Brees injury, which we got to keep an eye on this, obviously, for the Saints in the future, Michael. Your take on this game?
I mean, this is a game about momentum. And, you know, Drew Brees going out, Teddy Bridgewater coming in. But you have to give a lot of credit to the Rams. Their defense kept up the pressure. And during the game, you saw the receivers coach go over to the receivers and say, you got to put your foot on the gas. You got to seal the game. Cooper Kupp came out, had the big reception with the big run after it to put them on the 1-yard line and pretty much seal this victory. But it's so valuable to have Kupp back in the lineup after the knee injury last year. But this is a team, it was about momentum. Big controversial call that went against the Saints, another one in the game against the Rams.
Game swing after that.
Big swing after that. You just felt the whole momentum change. And the Rams are real, and the Saints are trying to find a way to come back. Hopefully Drew Brees will be okay.
Hey, before we take a quick timeout, I want to ask you, are we getting to the point where we're taking Patrick Mahomes for granted? I mean, he had 440 yards and 4 touchdowns, just like, another week.
Yeah, and the 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. I mean, they got off to a slow start, but then all of a sudden it's like a pinball machine. He starts lighting that thing up. I think him and Andy Reid, they have that unbelievable combination. They are on the same page. It's like a bacon and eggs. It goes well together. And these guys, if they can continue
you like
this...
Galladay?
I like Galladay. This Kansas City Chiefs defense, that's really the story to me, because if they play like they did today, they're going to win a lot of football games.
He likes Galladay and Galloway.
Yeah, I know. Just pick a name out there.
Peanut butter and jelly, bacon and eggs.
All right, Jake Laser, update us on Big Ben.
Yeah, look, we saw what happened to Drew Brees. Also, Big Ben Roethlisberger, he went down today. Mike Tomlin says, we are concerned enough to figure out what's going on with Ben Roethlisberger. They're actually bringing him in tonight to examine that elbow, also planning to give him an MRI. Right now, they're hoping that Ben Roethlisberger is not going to be lost for the long term.
All right, fingers crossed there in Pittsburgh. As we wrap up the OT, who won the day? I will ask you, starting with Mr. Bradshaw.
Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers on the road. They have now won 2 games on the road to start the season, which is great for them. Garoppolo with 3 touchdown passes, first time ever as a 49er. Now you look at that division, the NFC West. Now you got the Rams at 2-0, 49ers at 2-0, Seahawks at 2-0. Rapidly turning into a very powerful division.
Dak Prescott, 26 for 30 today, 269 yards, 3 TDs, another 69 on the ground, 7 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. What's 7 touchdowns worth? Maybe $40 million a year.
Wow.
Well,
I had 7 one year.
Well, okay, all right. I got Russell Wilson.
That shook you up.
Russell, yeah, you kind of surprised me, stunned me with that. Russell Wilson, 29 of 35, 300 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions, and 2 big wins on the road for the Seattle Seahawks. So well done, Russell Wilson. He wins my day for me.
Yeah, 7 touchdowns is 49 points, though, right? Is that right or no?
42.
Whatever it is. Anyways, I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. 16 rushes today for 120 yards after 3 carries for 6 yards last week, 5 touchdowns last week. He is balling out of control right now, and now he's unpredictable. He's not that one-dimensional quarterback. He's not that guy who's not accurate. If he can play like this, he's looking at like an MVP-type guy at this point.
But he's there on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
So he's balling on a budget.
Hey, real quick, what about David Quesenberry, the offensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans, missed 3 years of football battling cancer, came back today. They gave him a big man touchdown as he scored for the Tennessee Titans. Certainly, congratulations to him. Well, if you want to set your calendars for week 3, we've got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Miami Dolphins, who have lost their first 2 games, 102-10. So if you're a Cowboy fan, you're probably feeling pretty good right now?
About your stuff.
They should be.
That's when you trip up sometime. We will find out. That's next week. This will do it for us right now.